unfortunate.
And the image that I have in my mind is of those two babies that were found clutching the corpse of their mother for 2 days in a bombed out building, thanks to our tax dollars at work, thanks to our weaponry at work. Those two babies for 2 days clutching the corpse of their mother. That's the image I have in my mind today. And the brother of Netanyahu is bragging. Within 2 months to 6 months, there will be another attack on Gaza. Because Gaza is not Iran. Gaza is not Hezbollah. They don't have the ability to defend themselves from one of the largest military monsters in the world. These people do not have the means to defend themselves. And the reason for the siege is to make sure the Palestinians will never have the ability to defend themselves against war criminals. That's the fundamental purpose of the siege. The purpose of the US Army Corps of Engineers building the steel wall. They don't care about the human suffering. They don't care about the children, 50% of the children with anemia, with mental problems from the trauma. They don't care about all of that. They want to make sure Hamas does not get any weaponry to defend the Palestinian people, and the principle of self-defense is guaranteed under international law. People have the right to self-defense. If you're under attack, if your community is under attack, you have the right to self-defense. That's a basic international principle that's recognized. But where are our international institutions? Where is the United Nations? How is the United Nations allowing this blockade to go on year after year? So there's this immense sense of frustration, and we have now this movement, 1,300 people or so who are gathering now, trying to get in. The latest news I heard that Brittany didn't mention is 38 people, internationals in El Arish, have been detained in El Arish. They were not allowed to leave the hotel. So we're not sure if that's a sign of what's to happen. As people who are arriving in Cairo today, meeting, they're trying to take buses to go to El Arish and then to the Rafah crossing. We're not sure what will happen, if they'll actually be allowed to even, first of all, travel to El Arish. Code Pink organized a commemorative march across Qasr al-Nil Bridge in Meydan Tahrir, downtown Cairo. That was broken up by the Egyptian security forces. So I think what all of us are trying to do here, and we must give recognition to all these people, as Brittany said, who have taken time out. This is a very special week for many people with very busy schedules to spend time, precious time with family and friends. But these hundreds of people have taken the time out to go and make a statement, and I salute each and every one of them for taking the time, and I think we should all give them a round of applause for taking the time. So they've all taken the time, and we're going to be watching very carefully, and I agree with Khader, the phone calls definitely do make a difference. One Egyptian consular officer informed a member of the organizing committee that he had received in one afternoon 1,500 emails, and the ladies answering the phones they couldn't do any work. They couldn't do any work for the Egyptian consulate or the embassy in Washington, D.C. Exactly. There are solidarity actions happening all over the world, and one that really touched me in Afghanistan on the 31st, when people will be walking. Hopefully, if the 1,300 internationals can get into Gaza, and will be marching to the Eretz crossing. Brittany said to walk through Eretz. The Israeli authorities have informed the organizing committee of the Gaza Freedom March, if anyone comes within 300 meters, we will shoot. We shoot to kill. That's our policy. We will shoot to kill anyone who comes within 300 meters. So, you know, they have to work with this sort of dynamic. But on the December 31st, there are solidarity marches and actions all over the world. In Afghanistan, with all the problems they're having with this illegal occupation of their country, with the poverty, with the meddling of superpowers, whether it be the former Soviet Union or currently the United States and European powers, meddling in their affairs. Well, do you remember a few years ago when the Taliban blew up those precious Buddhist engravings in the stone, the Bamiyan figures? Does anyone remember that? In that precise place, the children of Afghanistan will be flying kites on December 31st in solidarity with the Gaza Freedom Marchers. We want to solve this problem, and I think to solve this problem, we have to deal with the oppression. And just one little snippet before I know we're all getting ready to march in the streets. I recently watched the Rachel Corrie film. I don't know if any of you have seen that. And towards the end of the film, the young 18, 19-year-old military people who were there with the bulldozers that killed Rachel Corrie, the interviewer was asking the soldiers, well, didn't you know that these were Americans or internationals? There were some British, there were Americans. And the response from the Israeli soldier was, well, there are white Palestinians. And I thought they were white Palestinians. That was his response. That if they're Palestinians, it's okay to bulldoze them. It's okay to break their spines. It's okay to break their bones. So if we want to find a permanent solution to this conflict, to this bloody conflict, we have to raise the status and the power of the Palestinian people. And the Palestinian people also have to take responsibility for their leadership, which has been corrupt and weak at times, fragmented. I blame the Arab regimes just as much as Israel. There would be no siege of Gaza without the complicity of the Egyptian authorities. And that's what's so beautiful about this action, is that the Egyptian authorities aren't used to having hundreds of internationals arrive in Cairo airport and having all these people on buses go. It's very, very important for the Egyptians to feel this kind of pressure. The world will not be silent. The world is watching. The whole world is watching. And they need to feel that pressure. Yeah, we know how you treat your own people. We know how you torture. We know how you pick people up at night, how you've dealt with the Muslim Brotherhood. We know very well your atrocious human rights record. Well, now you have American citizens you're dealing with. Now you have European people you have to deal with. And this is very, very important. That's one of the most powerful aspects of this Gaza Freedom March. Let these Egyptian authorities feel that. Jordan, just as bad with what's happening with the Viva Palestina convoy in Aqaba. You know, they're all working with the Zionist regime and with